Hello everyone, it's Jack Cotton, #1 best-selling author of Selling Luxury Homes and luxury real estate expert. We're continuing our series of the power of story and how using stories can help us be more effective in our dealings with high net worth individuals. Last time we talked about how stories can help decommoditize our practice, our business. Today we're going to talk about how we can meet the expectations of our luxury home buyers and sellers by using stories, the power of stories. First, let's review the 4 components that define luxury in general. First of all, there are price, rarity, exclusivity, and perfection. Now, if you think about these 4 components of the definition, then you combine these with what high net worth individuals want from our #1 video we talked about in this series, which is they don't want to be part of the pack. They want to be extremely individualistic. They don't want to be manipulated or played. They want to be treated as individuals and be unique. So if we combine these 2 things together, we can see why stories are so important, because stories make it possible to connect and convey the value of the real estate we are endeavoring to sell for high net worth individuals and to high net worth individuals. I have some examples of some listings I have and the stories that go along with them that might illustrate how we can use stories. You need to research your listings, the properties you're trying to sell, even if they're not your listings, to find the stories behind those listings that can capture, that can engage, that can intrigue, that can pique the interest of your high net worth buyers. So here's an example of a property we call Ship's Eagle, listed here on Cape Cod in a village of Osterville. It's south-facing over Nantucket Sound with over 9 acres. The price is over $17 million. Phenomenal property. Well, the coolest thing, or one of the cool things about this property, there are many, of course, but one of the most captivating part of this property is that there's a portrait to the left of the fireplace in one of the living rooms. And this portrait is of the wife of the original owner, the man who built the house in the late 1800s. That portrait is hung to the left of that fireplace since the house was built, through the 3 or 4 owners who have owned the property since the late 1800s. Now, the current owners have done an extensive and exhaustive renovation of this property. It is virtually a brand new house, even though it was built in the 1800s. It's spectacular. They also had the picture restored, but the story is that this painting must never leave its spot to the left of that fireplace. Now, we don't know what would happen if that painting should leave, but it's sort of been alluded to that the spirits associated with the woman portrayed in the picture may not be all that thrilled or happy or excited to have that portrait leave. The other cool thing about this portrait is that no matter where you go in the room, the woman's eyes follow you around the room. Anyway, what's cool is that everyone who owns this house gets enraptured by the story. They become a part of the story, and they live the story, and they repeat the story, and they tell it forward. And the truth of that, the proof of that, is the fact that that painting has not left its spot to the left of that fireplace since the house was built. This is the hook. This is what makes the house unique. This is the conversation piece that gets high net worth individuals excited about a given piece of property. And of course, this is a true story, which is always helpful when you're developing a story for your listing. If it's true, that's even better. Here's one more listing I want to tell you about. It's also in Osterville. It's over 20 acres on the water. The house is very quintessential Cape Cod, very understated. The price is just over $27 million. And what's really cool about this property is that the lady who did the landscaping here, who did all the landscaping design, the current owner of the property, is the same woman who designed the rose garden at the White House. Now, there's a story that goes along with that, but I'm not going to convey that story on the videotape because it would give away too much personal information. But the story we use during showings of the property to engage, to enrapture potential buyers of this property, because it's really cool to think that these grounds, these exquisite grounds, were designed by the same person who designed the rose garden at the White House. And we tell the story that goes along with the design of the rose garden at the White House. This sort of makes it a more compelling story and makes the property stand out, gives the property character. And it's a story that owners, the new owners of the property, will enjoy telling for generations themselves. So people want to become a part of the story. They want storied listings. Foreign buyers, and especially ones who come from overseas, really want to find properties that have a great story that they can tell back home about their property in the USA. So think about the stories that you have for your listings. They make it possible to connect to enrapture, to capture, to intrigue, and to pique the interest of high net worth individuals. So if you have a great storied property, tell me about it. I'd like to hear about it. I might use it as an example in an upcoming talk or video. One more reminder, if you bought my book, Selling Luxury Homes, here's a story with that. You get a one-on-one phone consultation with me for 20 minutes where I can answer your most pressing luxury real estate question. So I look forward to that. I really have a ball on these calls. And lastly, I want to remind you that my videos have arrived and I'm still holding the pre-production prices on my website, jackcotton.com. Check them out. You will enjoy them. You can learn from them. They're great office training or office meeting tools. But until next time, make it a great week.